This episode of TRS is brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE, the fastest, most advanced 4G network in America. Coming up on today's TRS, we're going to take a look at the new Coen Brothers movie, True Grit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Totally Rad Show for Monday, December 20th.
Don't you really
got
mean,
a fun week.
Don't you really mean ho 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 holo?
I don't know if I meant that, but
It didn't work.
It is Christmas week. Happy holidays, everybody. We have some Christmas-themed stuff going on this week.
Including our background.
Which is crazy
Sent
epic.
in by Mitch Armstrong. Thank you very much, Mitch.
It's
Yes.
ho
ho. Awesome.
It's ho ho
jumping on that
awesome.
train.
We should have actually just gotten a really bad one that we made and called it ho ho horrible. Yeah. But can't say that about this one. So today we're going to be talking about the new movie from the Coen Brothers, True Grit.
Yeah, tomorrow, of course, last week we had all these big announcements at the VGAs of video games, so we're going to talk about those, show some trailers, and talk about all those big games, including a new Elder Scrolls.
Big goms.
Right, Wednesday we're talking about a rare treat for Christmas.
Yeah, it's in the title, too.
A movie called Rare Exports.
Yes, very nice. Thursday, we're going to be checking out a new board game called Cineplexity. And then Friday, we're going to be diving into Santa's mail sack for a mail sack reading.
Hey-o! Happy that!
Today in movies, we are talking about True Grit, which comes out on Wednesday, ready for Christmas. It's based on the book by Charles Podis and was made into a movie in the late 60s, and it's the one that John Wayne won his Academy Award for Best Actor.
I've never seen it. Has anybody seen it?
I've seen parts of it, and the funny thing is, it's a comedy. It is a full-on comedy.
Very funny. I've read the book. I haven't seen the movie, but I read the book.
No, the movie
and
is like slapstick comedy western.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
the book is very
interesting.
funny. This one could be funny.
Very funny.
We'll talk. It's adapted by the Coen Brothers, who's some of the greatest directors of our time. And they are no stranger to the Western. They did modern Westerns, basically, with No Country for Old Men. And you could squeeze in there Raising Arizona if you read into things a certain way. Jeff Bridges plays an old, grizzled marshal, U.S. Marshal, and Matt Damon is a Texas Ranger who are sort of employed to help a moxie-filled 14-year-old who's played by a newcomer named Haley Steinfeld.
I like her next-door neighbor, Timer.
Nice. For that, you earn your keep to go first here. What did you think of True Grit? Was it as truly as it was gritty?
It's phenomenal. It is phenomenal. I love the Coen Brothers. There's a lot of filmmakers whose work I adore. These guys are in the top 2 or 3, I think, of just so consistent and so high quality. As you know, Dan, I love Westerns. And
running joke.
There are a lot of Westerns, Sergio Leone, of course, is the poster child for this, but there are a lot of Westerns where the visual is iconic, right? There aren't very many Westerns where the dialogue is iconic. I would say the manner in which people speak. You're disagreeing with me?
The manner in which people speak, but Sergio Leone, there's some classic lines.
Well, there's classic lines, but dialogue isn't the
way-
feature. It's sparse.
Yeah.
This movie, dialogue is not sparse.
Right.
And this is what I say about the Coen Brothers every time we review one of their movies. Their attention to language is so fun and so great. And little Haley knocks it out of the park.
Little Haley.
This may be it's either going to be like not Macaulay, like years down the road, we go.
Jodie Foster in Taxi Driver.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we're like, or it's
She's
the
so
girl from Anna Klumsky or something.
She's so good, and there are so many great moments in this movie. There's that classic Coen Brothers like sparks of violence that are just shocking. There are incredible sequences that I was on the edge of my seat, like sweaty palms, and the way these characters speak, the thing that's about the Coen Brothers that I love is you get so much for so little. There's a sequence right at the beginning where you see these 3 guys that are about to be hanged, and each of them says couple of sentences, and in a couple of sentences you know so much about those characters. There are no filmmakers that do that better than these guys. This movie is so entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, this may very well be the best movie I'll see all year, in my opinion. And I think the character that Jeff Bridges plays in this movie, though John Wayne also played this and made it iconic, this is going to be one of those iconic movie characters. It was amazing, and the thing that it was really funny. I went and saw this with Heather, and halfway through the movie, she leaned over and she said, "Every little girl should see this movie."
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, it's too bad because it is so violent at times that you wouldn't really want like an 11-year-old or 12-year-old girl to go see, but all tween girls should see this movie because the power that this 14-year-old girl has in this movie is palpable and is honest and
she's still vulnerable.
Very vulnerable, but
and she's still a kid, but she's like, she takes responsibility.
And every single character, this is another thing that the Coen Brothers do very well. Every character in this movie is one, important, and two, brilliantly acted.
Yeah.
Even characters that had 2 or 3 lines and are in the movie for 2 minutes, some characters that don't even have lines and are in the movie for 2 minutes are amazingly portrayed. Yeah. And the comedy in this movie is joyful.
It's very funny.
Joyful, but yet it doesn't play like a comedy.
Right.
You feel all the pressure and Barry Pepper. I mean, some of the people that are in this movie for like 5 seconds.
He may be nominated for.
He should. He is amazing. But also Matt Damon. I mean, this is the role that Matt Damon. It's a better version of the role that he played in the Brothers Grimm. Because I loved seeing him do that character.
You may be one of the few people that can.
I actually really like that movie because it was a fun. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
But this movie, right now, top of my list, best movie of the year. Yeah. It was amazing.
I'm going to piggyback on everything you guys said because, first of all, you know, I actually gave the book to Priscilla, to my fiance, to read because she fell in love with Twilight and then True Blood and then The Hunger Games, and I latched on to. She really loves these strong female characters, and I was like, you have to read True Grit for every reason that you guys have stated. This movie's awesome, and what's really cool, it's the Coen Brothers. It's very much less stylistically directed than most of their movies, which is interesting because usually, as you were saying, the most compelling part of a Western are those visuals. They stay very elegant, very classy, except for the end there's some weird effects happening that were weird. Very weird, but I give them a pass because everything else was stupendous.
You have to explain to me what you're talking about with that.
But it was like it looked like rear projection, but it was compositing. And what you guys are saying about speech and all that stuff, you know, it's you get Jeff Bridges on board to do this, and you're thrilled because Jeff Bridges is going to be here, and just him being the way he normally is great. But then he comes up with the way of speaking that is unique and yet familiar to the West. It seems immediately like it should be that way, but it's very
well, the way he says
it's
the
grovelly
words.
And all that stuff, like the way Clint Eastwood does, but in a different way, and it's dark and also with a sense of humor, which is very much the book.
The way he says the words is an interesting thing that he brings to it, but the words themselves, the turns of phrase, everything that people say is said in the most unique, interesting way.
Having the moments between Matt Damon and Jeff Bridges, as they're basically having an argument, but if you listen to the tone of their voice, you don't even realize that they're having an argument. It's what they're saying and how they're choosing to say specific things that aren't argumentative.
Right.
But the way they're choosing to say it that then culminates in them blowing up. It's like, what?
This is one of the most fascinating things to me about the Coen Brothers is because most auteurs you recognized by their visual style, from Scorsese to Michael Bay. It's the camera work that says it's that guy shooting it. The Coen Brothers, it's the casting and this manners of speech. I don't know how they cast it.
They get the vernacular of a certain regionality, and they nail it.
I don't know.
They have such an ear for that.
And but even the faces that they cast, the people, I don't know if they. I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they are open-minded when they're casting and someone is a certain way and they go, and it's very weird, and instead of dismissing it, they go, no, we want that? Or are they literally like shaping performances?
I don't know.
They
use the same
consistent.
people sometimes over and over.
They do, but also even those little characters, the guy with the wolf head, bear head, was like, how did they decide to have him speak that way?
So amazing.
Or does he speak that way?
Or the guy who's just like, Mac, Mac, Mac. Like, who put everything that happens in a Coen Brothers movie is. I've never seen that before.
Right.
You know, it's so unique, and there's every character's got some quirk.
But also, it's like the little moments, like when he was going up to the sort of trader guy, and the kids are fucking with the donkey.
Oh my God.
That doesn't need to be in that scene.
Right.
And how he treats those kids, it's like these little things.
And that's what makes them incredible directors, but specifically in adapting work, because almost every scene in this movie is in the book. And the book, by the way, is very funny.
No Country.
And exactly that. But the things they bring to it are little nuances.
Yeah.
Like that moment, like in the beginning, you were talking about the economy. And I mean, this book is all first-person narration of the little girl. So how do you get us to know what is the deal with this character, the little girl? In the beginning, with the kid, she's seeing her dead father for the first time, and the Undertaker's like, you want to kiss the body, whatever, and she doesn't faze her seeing this body. She's like, no, I'm not. Actually, I think the soul already left it, so I don't care. Like, and that brief little line of dialogue said you don't need narration all of a sudden. Suddenly, you get it immediately, and it's that nuance that's brought to a scene that's from the book. But a nuance that really brings you deeper in.
The alacrity in which all the dialogue is spoken. I wish more movies were that old, like Hepburn and Grant, you know, like those. It's so much fun. You feel like you're on a roller coaster and you got to keep up with the movie. It's
a great
movie. And awesome action scenes.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's a badass western on top of it.
Yep.
Remember to stick around after this. We're going to be talking about this day in rad history, but we do want to thank our sponsors. Verizon's 4G LTE is amazing. It has reduced lag time, providing real responsiveness. All right, so you can experience video conferencing without jitter or stutter, streaming video without any annoying buffers, play multiplayer online action games like never done before. I'm very excited to get my hands on 4G.
4Gs!
I always wanted to have it. Verizon 4G LTE is up to 10 times faster than 3G, right? Mind? Beep.
Wow.
Download a song in just 4 seconds, upload photos in 6 seconds, upload 10 megabyte PowerPoint presentations in less than 25 seconds.
You're always making PowerPoint
I keep sending these guys funny PowerPoint presentations that I make.
Oh, Alex made another great PowerPoint!
Oh, this pie chart's hysterical. Verizon 4G LTE provides a wireless option for a previously wired world. Untether the wired networks, enhance securities, let you tap into most VPN, so if you have any virtual private networks, that's what most of them. You can do that with no waiting. Super excited. Check it out. Verizon 4G LTE.
Nothing but a G thing.
4G.
Boom.
Should be their
See you
tagline.
tomorrow.
Should be the tagline. Submit backgrounds, fans at TotalRadShow.com, right?
Yes.
Backgrounds?
Happy that.
Don't miss tomorrow's episode where we take a look at some video game announcements from the VGAs.
So today is December 20th, and on this day in 1996 in rad history, the computer company NeXT merges with Apple, which paves the way for the Unix-based Apple OS, Mac OS, which we all know and love today, which is pretty big. That was sent in by John Roach, at John Roach. It's a pretty big deal because that was the first step into really opening up the Mac OS to having this great underlying kernel of all the Unix people got all excited. That's when Kevin Rose got all excited. He was like, hey, if Unix is in there, I want to see how in there it is.
So this was OS.
The first Mac OS, I think it was probably like OS 9, I think was when they were
there was
finally.
7. There was 7 point.
Well, no, but the problem, this is the one that was first built on Unix.
I remember hearing this news and my flannel fell off and Nirvana popped out of my cassette player. It was crazy.
Amazing. It was crazy news. It was crazy news. So it's fun.